The conference room buzzed with anticipation, a sea of faces, mostly women, mostly mothers, watching the stage where Sarah Thompson stood, her hands trembling slightly as she gripped the podium. 10 years ago, she'd been in a room like this, but not as a celebrated entrepreneur. Back then, she was a single mother, her eyes red from crying, her heart breaking as her boss handed her a termination letter. "We need reliability, Sarah," he'd said coldly, ignoring her pleas about her daughter's fever. Now, at 38, her chestnut hair swept into a confident bun, she looked out at the crowd. 10 years ago, I was fired for being a mother," she began, her voice steady but thick with emotion. "Today, my company employs 10,000 mothers, proving that we are not a liability, we are unstoppable." The room erupted in applause, tears streaming down faces in the audience. Like and subscribe to hear stories that inspire. Drop your city in the comments. Where are you watching from? Sarah's journey wasn't just hers, it was theirs too. She scanned the crowd, spotting Maria, who'd escaped an abusive marriage and now led her logistics team, Aisha, who'd worked nights to feed her twins and now managed finances, and countless others whose lives had changed because Sarah refused to accept defeat. 10 years ago, she'd sat in her tiny apartment, Lily asleep on her lap, staring at an eviction notice. The memory stung. $200 in her bank account, no job, no family to lean on. But Lily's sleepy whisper, "You're my hero, Mommy," had lit a fire in her. She'd vowed then, no mother would feel worthless because of her love for her child. That night, Sarah pulled out her old laptop, her fingers flying as she drafted a business plan. She'd always been a brilliant graphic designer, but corporate jobs demanded 60-hour weeks with no flexibility. So she started small, a freelance design gig for local businesses, working after Lily's bedtime. She reached out to other single mothers, women like her, who'd been pushed out of jobs for doctor's appointments or school pickups. "If they won't make room for us," she told them, "we'll build our own table." Her first hire was Jenna, a single mom who'd lost her accounting job after her son's asthma attacks required too many absences. Sarah offered her remote work, flexible hours, and a chance to shine. Word spread. By year 2, Sarah's design studio had 5 mothers working remotely, juggling nap times and school runs while delivering stunning work. Clients noticed, not just the quality, but the passion. Sarah's team wasn't just designing logos, they were designing futures. By year 5, Sarah's company, Empower Designs, had grown to 50 employees, all single mothers. She leased a small office with a corner for kids, crayons, books, and a quiet space for homework. Sarah remembered the days she'd hidden her struggles, pretending Lily didn't exist to seem professional. No more. Her office had a playroom, and her clients loved it. One day, a major retailer, moved by her mission, offered a contract to rebrand their national campaign. It was the break she needed. But success brought scrutiny. Competitors called her model unscalable, arguing that mothers couldn't handle high-pressure deadlines. Sarah fought back with data. Her team's projects were delivered 20% faster than industry averages. She stood in boardrooms, her voice unwavering, showing charts of retention rates and client satisfaction. "Single mothers don't fail," she'd say. "We've been juggling chaos since day one." Her conviction won over skeptics, and Empower Designs grew, hiring hundreds, then thousands. Today, as Sarah stood on that stage, she wasn't just a CEO. She was a symbol of what happens when compassion meets determination. "We didn't just build a company," she told the crowd. "We built a movement. Every mother here proves that love for your child makes you stronger, not weaker." As she stepped off the stage, Lily, now 15, ran to hug her. The applause echoed, but Sarah's heart swelled most for the women who'd found hope because she refused to give up. The unjust dismissal, Sarah Thompson's world crumbled on a rainy Tuesday morning in a sterile conference room at Apex Solutions. At 28, she was a rising star in their graphic design department, her work featured in national ad campaigns. But that day, her manager, Mr. Caldwell, slid a termination letter across the table. "Sarah, you've missed 3 days this month," he said, his tone clipped. "We can't afford an unreliability." Sarah's throat tightened. "My daughter, Lily, was sick. She's only 5. I made up the work at night." Caldwell shook his head. "Clients don't care about your personal life. We need someone who can commit fully." Sarah's hands shook as she gathered her things, her colleagues avoiding her eyes. She'd worked late nights, weekends, anything to prove herself. But it wasn't enough. Being a single mother was her crime. Outside, rain soaked her as she called her neighbor to check on Lily, who was recovering from a fever. The bus ride home blurred with tears. In her small Chicago apartment, bills piled on the counter, an eviction notice glaring among them. Lily's crayons littered the floor, a reminder of why she fought so hard. "I won't let you down," she whispered, kissing her sleeping daughter's forehead. The weeks after her firing were a blur of desperation. Sarah applied to dozens of jobs, but the questions were always the same. Do you have child care? What if your daughter gets sick again? Her savings dwindled to $200, and the landlord's knocks grew louder. At night, after tucking Lily in, Sarah sat at her kitchen table, staring at rejection emails. But one evening Lily climbed into her lap, her small hands cupping Sarah's face. "You're my hero, Mommy," she said, her voice sleepy but certain. Those words ignited something in Sarah. She refused to let her daughter grow up believing that motherhood was a weakness. She'd been a top designer, praised for her creativity and precision. Why should her love for Lily cost her a career? She opened her old laptop, its fan whirring loudly, and began drafting a business plan. She'd start her own design studio, one that valued mothers, not penalized them. She contacted Jenna, a single mom she'd met at a job fair, who'd been fired for similar reasons. "Let's build something for us," Sarah said. Jenna hesitated, then agreed. That night, Sarah vowed, no mother would feel discarded again. New Beginning Empower Designs was born in Sarah's cramped living room with a second-hand laptop and a $50 logo she designed herself. She took on small freelance projects, flyers for local cafes, websites for startups, working after Lily's bedtime. Her first client, a bakery owner, loved her work and spread the word. Sarah hired Jenna to handle bookkeeping remotely, offering flexible hours so Jenna could care for her son. The two women worked late nights, emailing drafts while soothing fussy kids. Sarah's vision was simple: create a workplace where single mothers could thrive without hiding their responsibilities. She reached out to other mothers through online forums, finding women like Maria, a talented coder who'd left tech after her abusive ex made childcare impossible. Sarah offered her a part-time role, coding between school drop-offs. By the end of year one, Empower Designs had 3 employees, all single mothers, juggling parenting and work with fierce determination. Clients noticed the passion in their deliverables, logos that popped, websites that converted. Sarah's tiny team wasn't just surviving, they were building something revolutionary, one project at a time, proving that flexibility didn't mean failure. Declined, building a community ***. By year 3, Empower Designs had grown to 20 employees, all single mothers, working remotely or in a small leased office Sarah secured with a loan. The office had a playroom with books and toys where kids could stay during school holidays. Sarah remembered the shame of hiding Lily's existence during job interviews. Now, she celebrated it. Her team included Aisha, a financial analyst who'd worked night shifts to feed her twins, and Priya, a marketing strategist who'd been passed over for promotions because of daycare emergencies. Sarah built a community, not just a company. Weekly video calls became a space for sharing parenting tips and work strategies. When Maria's son needed surgery, the team pooled funds to cover her bills. Clients, initially skeptical, were won over by the team's efficiency and creativity. A local boutique chain hired Empower Designs for a full rebrand, praising their heart-driven approach. Sarah used the profits to hire more mothers, each one a story of resilience. The office became a hub of laughter and determination, with kids' artwork on the walls and schedules built around school runs. Sarah's dream was taking shape, a workplace where no mother felt invisible. The turning point *** in year 5. A pivotal moment arrived. Sarah pitched Empower Designs to Horizon Retail, a national chain looking to refresh its brand. She stood in their sleek boardroom, her slides showcasing her team's work, vibrant, innovative, and on time. But it was her story that sealed the deal. "Every designer here is a single mother," she said. "We don't miss deadlines because we know what's at stake." The CEO, a father of 3, was moved. "You're not just selling designs, you're selling hope," he said, signing a multi-year contract. The deal brought in millions, allowing Sarah to scale. She rented a larger office, hired 200 more mothers, and invested in training programs. Empower Designs became a lifeline, employing women who'd been rejected elsewhere. nurses, accountants, coders, all balancing motherhood with ambition. Sarah introduced on-site childcare and flexible schedules, proving that productivity didn't require rigid hours. The contract's success drew media attention, with articles calling Sarah the mother who rewrote corporate rules. But with growth came challenges. Competitors whispered that her model was a gimmick, and some clients hesitated, unsure if Mom Power could handle high-stakes projects. Sarah was ready to prove them wrong. Time's sake Porsche facing resistance asterisks. As Empower Designs grew, so did the pushback. At a national business conference, a rival CEO cornered Sarah. "Your model's a PR stunt," he sneered. "Mothers can't handle corporate pressure." Sarah's jaw tightened, but she didn't flinch. She invited him to review her team's metrics: 98% client satisfaction, 20% faster project delivery, and 0 missed deadlines in 2 years. "Our pressure isn't corporate," she said. "It's keeping our kids fed and our dreams alive." Her response went viral on social media, shared by working parents nationwide. But resistance wasn't just external. Some clients demanded in-person meetings, skeptical of remote work. Sarah countered with video demos and results, winning them over. Internally, a few early hires struggled with the company's rapid growth, fearing it would lose its family feel. Sarah listened, hosting town halls to address concerns and refine processes. She also faced personal doubts, late nights wondering if she was enough for Lily and her team. But letters from employees, like Aisha's note about buying her twins' first bikes, kept her going. Sarah's data and determination turned skeptics into allies, solidifying Empower Designs as a force for change. Damodai's legacy of empowerment, ***. 10 years after her firing, Sarah stood on that conference stage, her company now employing 10,000 single mothers across the country. Empower Designs had offices in 5 cities, with childcare centers, scholarship funds, and mentorship programs. Sarah's vision had reshaped industries, inspiring competitors to adopt flexible policies. Her team's success, $50 million in annual revenue, 95% retention rates, proved that compassion was good business. At the event, Sarah shared the spotlight with her employees, inviting Maria, Aisha, and others to speak. Their stories of escaping poverty, earning degrees, buying homes, moved the audience to tears. Lily, now a teenager, watched proudly from the front row, her science fair medal gleaming. Sarah ended her speech with a call to action. Hire the overlooked. Trust the underestimated. They'll change the world. As she stepped down, a young mother approached, tears in her eyes. "You gave me a job when no one else would," she said. "Now my son believes anything is possible." Sarah hugged her, knowing this was her true legacy. Empower Designs wasn't just a company. It was proof that justice finds those who fight for it.